What is happening, people? Welcome to Gooner Down Under TV, and if it's your first time on the channel, make sure to head down, subscribe to the channel, like this video, do all of that good stuff. You know, Arsenal just thumped Sheffield United 5-0. You might as well join the Gooner Down Under community, be along the way for the journey, all that new content coming your way. Now, if you're a returning sub or a returning viewer, much love as always. I appreciate every single one of you. And, before I get into this breakdown, leave a comment as well. What did you think of the game before you sort of see what I have to say? Of course, we're probably going to have some common talking points about Mr. Nketiah. But, at least that way we can see what we agree on, what we disagree on, and can have some nice football chat in the comments section. Always love when we get that opportunity. So make sure to take that up. Really, there's nowhere, I can't even talk, no way else to start other than Mr. Nketiah. I'm not going to sort of toot my own horn. I wasn't someone saying he should have started. And I hold my hands up and say, I was wrong. Today, he was absolutely class. Didn't put a foot wrong, was just, amazing. Carried us over the edge. And I see a lot of people talking about, we should get an upgrade on him. Yes, he did this, but he's not good enough. Today's not the day for that, To be honest, he just got a Premier League hat-trick. And if we can never take the time to appreciate or admire what he just did, then we never will. And nothing he ever does will be good enough. Let the man have his flowers, have his praise. He just scored 3 goals against a tough Sheffield United team. Yes, we beat him 5-0. Yes, Newcastle beat him 8-0. But, a lot of other big teams struggled against him. And until Nketiah's sort of magic, we were struggling as well. It's not like we were creating a bunch of chances, and then we happened to just get one through Eddie. It was his magic. He made a beautiful touch from Rice's cross, controlled it, slotted past the keeper. Second one, off a corner, right place, right time, buried it. Third one, absolutely beautiful, something we haven't seen much of. Absolute banger from outside of the box. If that's something he can offer more often, then that would really elevate us and elevate him as well. And just give him another option. A lot of us commonly sort of talk about, he's not Jesus, he can't link up play, he's just a fox in the box. And while I do agree, of course, I don't think there are many strikers in the world football that can do what Jesus does. We still need our number 9s to score. Yes, he's number 14, but we need our strikers to score. And some point we need our creative players to create. I think we need to put a little bit more pressure on Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, the likes of these guys to start creating more so that our strikers can put away chances. Yes, it's a good balance with Jesus because he does link up play and he's another option for creativity. But at the end of the day, if we're going to be running with Nketiah for a while, we need other people to put it on a plate for him. Yes, it's all good sort of being link-up play, but we can have to. What is happening today? We have to suit or play to his strengths, and his strength is he can put it in the back of the net. Most of the times when he doesn't have a good performance, it's because he ghosts and he's not in the game. But it's not because he's in the game because he's missing a load of chances. It's typically because our service has been poor, and this season, a lot of times, we just haven't been creating enough. I think, like I said, our creative outlets need to be held accountable, and our whole team needs to be a little bit more dynamic. So I'm not going to put that all on Nketiah. Yes, it would be beautiful if his link-up play could be more Jesus-like. He has shown glimpses of it, at times spinning a defender, playing a pass, but we just want to see a little bit more of that. But I want to see a lot more from our other players, creating chances for him. But besides that, I don't really know what else to say about Nketiah. I really hope this can propel him forward. A lot of times he does have those sort of mini streaks where he's consistently scoring, and now would be a perfect time for that. We have West Ham in the cup, and I will be sort of talking about my 11 that I would go for in that. But especially after that, St. James's Park, Newcastle, it's going to be a tough game. And if we can get him scoring, that would really help us out. Sometimes he does have a long sort of dry spell, so he is sort of a confidence player. And if this can help him, I don't know how much more confidence you can get than a hat-trick. That would be absolutely perfect. Now, moving on, What I like to see, we saw it in the Cup, now we're seeing it in the Premier League. We're rotating and still picking up points. This is the 11 I sort of wanted before we found out Jesus was out for a few weeks. But, Saka was in there instead of him, fair enough. Nketiah in for Trossard, Arteta, well done on that. Yes, you've given him a lot of opportunities, but this one, he really showed up. And, I did predict that midfield. We're going to talk about them a little bit more, but my main talking point here is I really like to see the fact that we're just rotating and still picking up points. Before, if there was sort of one or two players missing from our main 11, we'd lose, or just at least, an ugly draw. But now we're starting to look convincing. I think that's what a title contending team should do. You should be able to rotate pieces in and out and still have a high product on the field. So that's a really good look from me. For me, not from me, I didn't do anything, I just sat and watched. Now, we have a conversation to have. Tomiyasu has been absolutely amazing this season. Zinchenko, a little bit shaky, but for me, today was really good. And I think today's the perfect time to use him. When they have a low block, Zinchenko is absolutely one of those players that can have one of those dynamic passes and cut through the midfield. And, I thought he played a lot of really good passes today. What is happening? I'm just going to keep rolling. Hopefully you understand that I somehow know how to speak English, maybe even a little bit, but not the point. What I really like to see was Zinchenko maybe taking a little bit of a leaf of Tomiyasu's book and changing it up, not always inverting. There was one time where he dashed it through the entire middle of the park, got the ball, maybe wasn't able to control it the best, but another day maybe controls it better. That's a goal. So that's something I like to see, make us less predictable. Tomiyasu has that in his locker where he just, uses athleticism, becomes a train down the middle of that pitch. But it's really good to see Zinchenko doing it as well. Something that's really hard to defend against. And, in the future, if we can have runners off him, maybe in Nketiah, you can find him, and that could be another good option we have. Going forward, it's a really good headache. I think we have two very good options. For me, Tomiyasu, my main depth guy anywhere in that back four. But you can make a case for him, especially starting at left back. His form overall has been really good. And I think against Newcastle, I'd probably go with Tomiyasu just because he can offer us a little bit more defensively. And Newcastle is going to be a massive fight. But at least for today, I just wanted to talk about Zinchenko, give him his praise. I don't know how many other people are sort of talking about him, but I think he did really, really well. And it's good to see, last season he was instrumental for us, has a couple bad games and people lose their minds. It's happened so much this season, already on Odegaard as well, people calling him, a phony, fake, this and that. Form is temporary, class is permanent, that saying. And I think we need to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more level-headed. To be fair, my wife reminded me of that, sort of getting gassed up on Eddie today. It is one game. It is one game. We still do need to chill. We need to go game by game. It's a long season. We can't be throwing our toys out the pram every game if someone plays bad. And we can't be gassing someone up like they're the next Ballon d'Or player if they do good. Don't even know why I went on that mini rant. Just going to say Zinchenko did good. I'd go with Tomiyasu against Newcastle. Let me know what you think of that in the comments section. Next up, we got to talk about these 2-8s or 2 attacking 10s, whatever you want to call it. I did predict it in my midfield. I did want this in my midfield. I was hoping to see something. I don't think I saw enough. Smith Rowe finally got his opportunity. Don't think he did enough. Maybe some of that is due to match rustiness, whatever you want to call it. Just not playing, low sharpness. Havertz just not convincing enough. I think Eddie, he's on my mind too much today. Arteta is really going to have to find a way to make him work. I can't see him going anytime soon. Can't see him just permanently being benched. So it's on Arteta, what is he a striker? Is he going to be our 8? Is he going to be our 10? It's problems Chelsea had and it's problems we're having so far. At the moment, he just looks so stiff. Doesn't look, like he has any finesse about him. Doesn't look like he wants to do much as well. Every time he gets the ball, he doesn't even turn towards goal. He's just always passing it straight back, easy pass, sort of take that pressure off. And I think we need to find some way of unlocking him. I used to watch him at Bayer Leverkusen and he was really good. Yes, people say you can't hang on to that, but he was really good. And he was dynamic. He seemed much quicker, much more athletic, a much better dribbler, willing to take people on. And I just don't know where that is. Hopefully, like I say, Arteta can do something. But at the moment, I'm not too sure. I have been a big defender of his, trying to let people give him time. But, we do need to start seeing more. I don't want to sort of hamper in on these guys too much because we did win 5-0. And maybe we can just say they picked up the right pockets so that other people have space. I don't know. But I don't want to hamper on too much of negatives because, again, we won 5-0. There'll definitely be chances to talk about these things later on in the season. It's going to be a long season. Next, in terms of giving people flowers when they deserve it, David Raya deserves it today. I've been very critical of him, thinking Ramsdale should start, not seeing anything really special from him. Today did well, and I think these are exactly the games that suit him. I talked about this before. Anytime a team doesn't have a high press, they're not, pestering us, always on us like nothing, like they're glued to us, that's when Raya seems to buckle for me. When it's teams that sort of sit back like Everton, they're never going to contest him. He has all the time in the world. That's when he's a little bit more confident, makes some better passes. There was a time where he sort of caught, I think it was a cross, don't correct me if I'm wrong, then just quickly, bam, blitzed it, long kick to Martinelli, and it was right on the dime. It was good. Can he do that against the better teams though? Or is he only sort of similar maybe to Zinchenko, suited to low block teams, can help us get another option to unlock them? But today, given him his flowers, played very well. But, we'll see where the goalkeeper conversation goes. At least for now, I think we can all say that he's our number one. Arteta sort of, seems stuck on that. And I think that's what it is. Now, last thing I want to talk about is the lineup against West Ham in the EFL Cup or the Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it. This is what I would rock with. Half sort of rotated, half not. Personally, I think this is the only time Ramsdale is going to get a game, so I would put him back in. Back four, I'm going relatively strong. White, Tomiyasu, Gabriel Zinchenko. A lot of times other players have been rotated. William Saliba hasn't. So I'm resting Saliba for this one. White got about 30 minutes off this game as well. So I think he'd be good to start. Tomiyasu, like I said, any position, he's my number one depth. So I'd love to see him right centre back, see what he can do. Especially with no Rob Holding, we don't have a clear right centre back backup. Maybe they can sort of switch. White can come in, Tomiyasu can go to the right. But for me, Tomiyasu, anywhere he plays, he does well. So I want to keep White right back because I want him to sort of regain his attacking form. Defensively this season, he's done well. But that right, triangle between him, Odegaard and Saka hasn't been to the levels yet. Yes, I'm benching Saka for this game, but I just want to see him start overlap and finding good spots and getting his rhythm back, knowing when to go, when to stay. Now, that midfield. Rice, would love to rest him. No Party, though. I don't really want Jorginho starting with two attacking 10s or 8s in front of him. So Rice has to play, and it's against West Ham. West Ham fans have been talking nonsense for so long since we got him. I really would like to win this game and put them back in their place. I never had a problem with West Ham. I don't even know why that started, but it just got out of control. And I really would like Rice to come in here and just put an absolute masterclass, especially because I think he's the only guy in our team. And I've said it time and time again, when he's the 6, I feel comfortable with pretty much any 2 in front of him and we're not going to get overrun. That's how highly I rate him. With Partey in the past, when we've had Odegaard and Smith Rowe in front of him or Odegaard and Vieira, we have been overrun. With Rice, I don't think so. I think we're still looking good any which way. Right next to him, I'd put Odegaard. He got rested today, needs to come in, have a good performance. This is a game where Worst case scenario, we lose, it's fine, but at least take some chances, try and find your creative edge again. So be a little bit more, not optimistic, but adventurous. Left 8, I'm going with Trossard. I saw one game of him in pre-season where he played there, thought it was absolutely brilliant. So I'd like to see that again. Maybe this can be the sort of rejuvenation of him in the starting 11 with a new spot or a new position. I really like the idea of him. I do see some Santi Cazorla vibes in him, so I think that could be a really good option. Up front, Nketiah scored a hat-trick, need him to do similar things. He's starting up front. And either side, going Martinelli and Reece Nelson. Reece deserves a start. Been doing good off the bench a couple games. I don't want to see Fabio Vieira there starting on the right. I want to see Reece given his opportunity. Now, let me know what you think of the game. Not too sure yet if I'll do a preview. I have another video in mind. So in case I don't, I'm going to say we win 2-1. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you made it this far, much love again. I appreciate you, and I will see you in that next video.